I love when guests teach me a lesson or two, and that's exactly what happened on this week's episode of the Maverick Makers podcast. I welcome Chantal Bekhor, who is the president of VG Gourmet, a natural food company. She was a teacher and then transitioned into being a CPG food founder. She saw a gap in the marketplace and created her own line of delicious burgers, and she has so many other great products to try. You're going to love our conversation because she dispels so many myths about the food industry. So if you're ready, let's go. We have another episode of the Maverick Makers podcast, and I am thrilled to welcome Chantal Bekhor. She is the president of VG Gourmet. It's an amazing company, natural food company. We're going to talk more about it, talk about her journey, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me, Michelle.
Yeah, of course. And I know that everyone's going to really get something out of this conversation. Who doesn't love the natural food space? So I can't wait to dig in with you. So, the first question that I'll start with is, who are some of the mavericks in your life, maybe close by or afar, who you've admired?
So I would have to say the first one would be my own mother.
Oh,
Um yeah, you know what? I grew up with my mom is to me a maverick. She's a woman beyond her time. She grew up in Baghdad as a Jewish woman in Baghdad, and she got her medical degree at a young age. She came here, she's a doctor, she taught herself everything. I mean, she raised us, she worked hard, and I've always looked up to her growing up. So that's
um,
to me the biggest maverick. And then I would also say a maverick that's more well known to everybody would be Martha Stewart, who is someone that I have admired my whole life. She's a strong, powerful woman, and also before the times, she's the first one. She's a pioneer in this field. And to have made it as far as she did, her story is just beyond incredible.
I love these two examples. Your mom sounds
Yeah.
incredible. What an inspiration. And I love that she's hardworking. And same with Martha Stewart. You're absolutely right. She is such a pioneer and she continues to innovate and such an example. And wasn't she on the cover of Sports Illustrated in a bikini? Like, who does that? And
Well,
she was
that's
like
how she
70.
started. That's how she started as a model. But that's not what was for her because she wasn't someone who just wanted to show her body. She was someone who wanted to show her mind and her creativity. And that's to me what I admire because she could have been a model and she could have made plenty of money and done well. But I admire that she said, no, I want to show what I can do with my mind, not just my body.
Yeah, love it. What a great example.
Yeah.
Amazing. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about your journey, where you started and where you are today with VG Gourmet.
Sure. So we started about 10 years ago. I was a teacher in elementary school and I've always had a passion for food, for cooking, for the plant-based lifestyle, for, turning all my favorite dishes into vegetarian versions because obviously I wanted to eat. So over the years, I had learned how to develop some of these recipes, more to nourish myself and my family. Um, and then in 2011, I was on a Food Network show called Recipe to Riches, which was kind of a life-changing experience in the sense that I I had always cooked for family, for friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a good cook." But when I cooked for professional judges and they said it was good, that changed everything for me. And the goal of the competition was you would have your product created by President's Choice. It would be in Loblaw stores. And as I was going through that competition, it was there was nothing I wanted more. I was just there was prize money. which obviously I wanted, but it was the idea of having something that I made in a Loblaw store. I could taste it, I could feel it, and that's really what drove me, and then when I came in second, I I didn't get the product done, I didn't get the prize money. I was really devastated. And to me, that I feel like that was the little spark, the little fire that I needed that said, I don't need them. I could get my own products in stores. And that's how this journey started.
Wow, I had no idea. I love that story. How
Yeah.
did you even get involved with the show?
Saw an ad online. And then, I had a few friends who said, "Come on, do it. What do you have to lose?" And I
Wow.
said, "Okay," because I was also addicted to Food Network at the time, watching all these shows, and so my friends were like, "Come on, just do it." And I sent in an application, and they actually called me. They told me to come in, and we did auditions, which were kind of like American Idol, but for food. You go in and you show the judges what you brought. And I actually went with a spiced date cookie, which was also kind of a little gutsy of me because really, who's going on with a spiced date cookie?
Right.
um, which is, kind of like part of my personality, part of the way I love to cook. And then when they said, "Yeah, you're being casted," I was so excited.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing. So what
Yeah.
happened after the show? So you basically, I know you probably had a hard time. It took a while to recover, and then you're like, okay, well, how did you
A
get
long
the
time.
company started?
So, I feel like a lot of it was kind of in my head. And then also my husband and I, we always kind of wanted to do something together. Not sure what, just something. And then one day my husband, he looks at me, he's like, these veggie burgers, why aren't we selling them? People would like them. And I'm like, there's so many veggie burgers on the market. And he says, well, if there are so many veggie burgers on the market, why are you sitting here for hours making your own? It's because
Mm,
I don't like them. It's like, exactly.
amazing.
So then yeah, we decided let's try it, and it turns out I'm not the only one that doesn't, necessarily like what over processed foods, and people are loving what we're making.
Yeah, I can 100% agree. Having tried several veggie burgers, yeah, there
Yeah.
hasn't really been one that's been the game changer yet. And you're totally right. They taste very over processed and fake. And it's like, I would rather
Yeah.
just not eat anything. So tell me, what
Yeah.
does VG Gourmet do?
So we make plant-based foods. We're all about gourmet. We're all about making things taste good. We use real products like beans, fresh vegetables, and everything's pre-cooked. We sell to grocery stores, and we believe that's how to make people adopt a healthier lifestyle by offering a good option that's just easy.
Great. I love it. What's your favorite
Yeah.
product right now that you've created?
Oh, now I have to choose? Okay, I'll admit. My favorite burger is our quinoa chickpea burger.
Oh, that
It's
sounds.
got fresh dill and lemon juice in there, so I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Oh, I love it. And how did you find that gap in the marketplace? Was it just you said it was just out of need, right? That you're like, your husband's like, why are you eating these? Or are there any other gaps that you've seen recently or
Um, well, I feel like yeah, exactly. I found there was a big gap back then. We launched about 10 years ago. So more recently I'm really loving seeing all the innovation. Besides our products, like in all the other categories, all the plant-based product categories, I'm seeing a lot of innovation, which is really nice to see. I love seeing all the new vegan ice creams that are more whole food based because they used to be not. So now a lot of them are kind of coconut milk, oat milk, like there's a lot out there and also in the dairy alternatives, a lot of cashew based cheeses. There's even a couple of bean based cheeses. So I love seeing that kind of innovation.
Love it. Do you have any favorite natural food products that you eat yourself?
Yeah, one of the biggest trends that I'm actually loving and I buy often are they're like chickpea snacks. So instead
Mm.
of, you know, bag of potato chips, they're kind of dry roasted chickpeas or dry roasted edamame. And so they're kind of more natural, but they're really good.
I keep seeing actually, it's funny you should say that. Keep seeing on Instagram and TikTok all these recipes on how to make your own dried chickpeas in the air fryer.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, might have to try that. So that's awesome. How did you
Yeah.
bring your teaching career into your business? Because I find that so, it's like, how did you do that?
It's funny because it is very different, but it's actually really not. I feel like my teaching degree has helped me so much within the business because I do a lot of training staff,
Hmm.
whether it's office staff or production staff, and I feel like my teaching degree actually gives me an edge on that. Like sometimes other people I notice kind of lose patience and just, "Oh, just do it. I do it this way, just do it this way." Whereas for me, I've learned how to work with so many different learning styles that it just get it. Like, okay, you're not getting it. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to show it to you this way. And it works. And I feel like that's the biggest thing I bring from my teaching career.
That's amazing. And I would say besides the number one being the product being very good is labor is equally important. You have to have the right people to grow a
Yes,
company. So I think that's really
100%.
there you go. Thanks for explaining it. What kind of advice
Yeah.
would you give to someone who wanted to start a CPG or food business?
I think what I would say is first of all, stick with your passion. Stick with something that means something to you. Because
Mm,
I so sometimes when people do it not out of passion, out of just copying what's out there, it
mhm,
doesn't last.
mm,
So choose something that means something to you, and also make sure that there is a need for it.
right.
So look at the market, make sure there is a need.
That's great. Passion is so important. You're so right to really figure that out. And obviously your passion was, food
Yeah.
food and, the natural lifestyle. So that's wonderful. If you could start your business all over again, would you do anything differently?
Listen, hindsight is 2020.
Absolutely.
There's always things I would do differently. I think one of the main things would be we grew very slowly at the beginning, and then we decided to just go fast. And in terms of cash flow, that kind of hurt us. So that's one thing that I would say, just be careful on that. The way you grow. Um, you know, take your time to grow properly and not take out 700 loans just to grow so fast.
Right. Have you
Yeah.
ever had an investor or is this all self-funded into your business?
Yeah, we don't want to have an investor honestly because we want to work for us.
Good for you.
So it's self-funded, but it's I mean obviously that we have a lot of banks
Mm.
that have helped us, that are behind us.
Mhm. Lovely. That's fantastic. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that this is all happening for you, and I can't wait to see what's happening next in terms of your
Thank
growth.
you.
Is there a big sort of game plan or goal of what's next for the growth?
For us right now, what we really want to focus on is I feel like we have a good amount of products. So, in terms of that, I don't want to start creating new products. So we really want to focus on more listings. And new listings. We actually huge news just got into Costco this week. That landed yesterday.
Amazing. This
So
is
that's
great
huge news.
timing. Amazing. Is that throughout
Yeah.
the country, across Canada?
No, Costco Canada East,
Okay, perfect.
and 4-month program with Costco. So
Perfect.
it landed yesterday until August. So we're very excited about that. But obviously, that's something that maybe we'd like to get longer programs or get in there again for next summer. And then eventually maybe Costco West. That would be great. We just got a listing with Metro Ontario, which
Fantastic.
we're really excited about. So for us right now, our goal is to just keep those listings coming.
Beautiful. What
Yeah.
about misconceptions in the food business? Let's talk about those.
I think the biggest misconception is that it's all glitz and glamour and oh my god, you own your own business. Oh my god, it's just so glamorous. Listen, let me tell you, half the time I'm covered in food. There's just and it's hard work.
Mm.
It's really, really hard work. At the end of the day, we are exhausted. Um, so I think that's the biggest misconception. And I think a second big misconception is a lot of people complain about prices in grocery stores and I get it. I also complain because things are expensive,
Mm.
but a lot of people feel like the manufacturers are just being greedy and we're making so much money, but we're not. We're not. Our profit margins are so tiny. So I feel like that's something that maybe the world needs to know a little bit.
Absolutely. And they know now that they're listening. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. How are you feeling about the lightning round? You ready to go?
I don't know.
You can do it. Yeah, for sure. You can do it.
Okay.
All right. So anything that comes to top of mind, just say it. So here we
Okay.
go. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. Chance or choice?
I guess choice.
Is there love at first sight?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Who would you love to invite to your dinner table?
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I knew that one was coming. Anybody else?
Anybody else? I would guess I will go with another chef that I admire, Jamie Oliver.
Oh, this is a good table. This is fantastic.
I know, right?
I better get a seat at this table.
You're invited. I've
Absolutely amazing. If not in Montreal, where would you want to live?
always been happy in Montreal. I guess Toronto,
Hmm,
because I have my sister there, a lot of friends.
amazing. What do you do right before bed?
Watch TV. Usually a sitcom to calm down.
Nice. What's your superpower?
Oh wow. What's my superpower?
Mm,
I guess I would say my superpower is just getting up and getting going, no matter what. I could fall, I could be broken, I could have a broken arm, and I go to a trade show.
good for you. I love that fire. Amazing. And what's your life motto?
Enjoy every minute because you don't know when's your last.
Mm, amazing. I love that one. Two last questions. Here's the first. How do you want to change the world?
I would love it if everybody got along. Peace. That's just a dream, but would love it.
It's a good one. Last question. What's next?
What's next?
Oh,
What
what's
do you
next?
mean?
What's next for you, for VG Gourmet? What's next?
That's a good question.
More listings you mentioned.
More listings, expanding, yeah, growth.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, thank you so much for this conversation. I learned a lot
Thank
about the
you.
food business because I'll admit that I also thought it was very glamorous, but yes, I get it. I get it
Yeah.
now. Um, that being said, I am super hungry for lunch. So thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks for being on the show, and I can't wait to see what's next. The Maverick Makers podcast is sponsored by Maverick Makers Content Creation Collective. We fuel your content pipeline through video, photography, design, and editorial. Let's connect to your audiences and make more sales. Learn more at maverickmakersco.com.